Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I just want to talk a little bit about some recent, I guess you call it nerdy news update. At the time of me recording this, yesterday, a date announcement got dropped for Luke Cage Season 2, which made me go like, wait, what? Because for one, literally it came out the day before Jessica Jones Season 2, which to be fair, like at the time of me recording this, I'm like halfway like through Season 2 right now, which I'm really enjoying. Like I highly recommend if you haven't checked out Jessica Jones, you really do that. But nevertheless, it kind of took me by surprise because in my mind, I was thinking like the next one in the lineup was going to be Daredevil, and also at the same time, I wasn't expecting it to be so soon too. I mean, because like if you're curious, like Luke Cage Season 2 is coming out like, was it June 22nd, which is kind of an interesting thing too, because like I think that's like a day before Cloak and Dagger premieres on Freeform. I'm forgetting, like I saw it once, and like the date I saw was June 23rd. Do not quote me on that. I think that's what it was, but I could be wrong. Nevertheless, getting back to what I was talking about, because the original timeline for like the TV shows when they were coming out is like, okay, Daredevil Season 1, Jessica Jones Season 1, Daredevil Season 2, then Luke Cage Season 1, then Iron Fist Season 1. So I thought like the next thing after Jessica Jones was going to be Daredevil. Also, I wasn't expecting it to literally pop up like 3 months later. But that's also because in my head for multiple reasons. One, I keep forgetting that Marvel's kind of been pushing stuff out a lot more quickly in this past year. What I mean by that is like, usually, especially when it comes to the TV shows as well as the movies, it'd be basically, roughly speaking, about 6 months in between, like each one. I think the last year they had that was 2016. It was the Captain America, Civil War, and then like nearing the end of the year in November they had Doctor Strange. Well, last year in 2017, when it came to the movies and stuff like that, they had Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming. To be fair, Spider-Man Homecoming is in kind of that weird area just because of the fact is that there's also that Sony element to it, so I don't know if that kind of is one of the main reasons why that ended up kind of getting pushed out a lot sooner, just because of that whole situation. Nevertheless, and then there was also Thor Ragnarok last year, and even this year it's like, oh, we've already got Black Panther, next up is Infinity War, and then after that is Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, and then, you know, last year with the TV shows, it's like they had Iron Fist, Defenders, and the Punisher all coming out. So I'm assuming with the way things are now, the next thing we'll see kind of pop up will be Iron Fist most likely, and then potentially Season 3 of Daredevil, which in retrospect, they could be doing that for a particular reason, because without going into spoilers, the way things kind of played out in the Daredevil storyline as well as the Iron Fist storyline when it came to Defenders, it makes sense for that to kind of be like Iron Fist to be next and then Daredevil, because it's kind of like, oh, if Daredevil came before Iron Fist, which they totally could. I'm just thinking out loud. I feel like that continuity might mess with Iron Fist continuity a little bit, but I mean, that depends on how they do everything. I'm like super excited all across the board. I'm very excited for all of that, but obviously next up, Luke Cage. Not a lot to it, like I said, it's just a date announcement video, so some little clips of him basically like, you can't burn me, you can't hurt me, you can't break me, and I'm like, dude, getting super hyped for it. There's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to see what they do with Season 2, like, because obviously that date announcement gave like literally nothing about what the story's going to be about, so it's probably going to be a while before we actually get a trailer for it. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is Misty, without, you know, going into it, because anyone that might have not watched Defenders, which you should severely change that. Like I recently like rewatched it and I was like super hyped the entire way through it, but that's just me. I really like that show. I want them to make more. I don't think they are, which is upsetting, but I want more Defenders, dude. That was so good. Basically what happened to Misty in Defenders, like I said, no spoilers, I didn't know what was going to happen to her, because like I only know about it because I think a little while back, like some set photos leaked for Season 2, I mean, or they might have been released, they might have leaked, whatever. It showed Luke and Misty, and I see Misty, I'm like, yo, what's up with that? Dope about this particular thing that popped up with Misty. I won't go into it too much, but I was like, dude, that's sick, because at the time I had no idea that was a whole thing. Like I think it wasn't until like after I read about Misty, which interestingly enough in the comic books there's actually like a duo team between Misty and Colleen, so I thought that was kind of neat. I mean, I guess because Defenders kind of like winks and nudges towards that a little bit, especially at the end of Defenders, so I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. So that's something I'm looking forward to, but also just like the story, like where they pick up with Luke Cage, like villains and stuff like that, what the roster's going to look like. on a season 2, which me seeing roster like that makes me think of like a fighting game or something like that. But nevertheless, it's something I am looking forward to. Like I said, there's just some nerdy news update. I just kind of like circled that all and kind of put it together in that. So obviously I have more thoughts on the whole Luke Cage situation when a full trailer for season 2 drops. You know, a little more comes out about it. Something interesting, a whole tangent I just wanted to kind of talk about. So, and then finally another thing I want to talk about is obviously like a new trailer drop. For season 2 of Legion, which holy crap, I'm super excited. If you don't know, Legion's coming out on April 3rd, which I'm super excited. If you have not seen season 1 of Legion, obviously don't watch the trailer. I will be including links in the description for everything, like the little date announcement for Luke Cage, so you can check it out, but also season 2's trailer for Legion. Obviously, if you haven't seen season 1 all the way through, do not watch it. It'll spoil things. To be fair, it's a trailer, so a lot of stuff is out of context, and it's even more out of context if you've never watched the show. So, but still, there are spoilers like, oh, that's a spoiler, huh? So I'm super excited because I was curious because like season 1 has like a very unique feel. Like this is one of those superhero shows because it's like, man, you wouldn't think it's a superhero show because it does the way it's structured and the way it handles itself. It's a very like psychological kind of thriller, science fictional show. And it's almost like you took that core concept and then you put mutants on top of that last. I'm sure that's not the case. Maybe it is, but either way, it gives the show a very unique feel and style to it. And I was curious to see if they would bring that over in season 2, and it seems that is definitely going to be the case, which I'm excited about to see what kind of weird, trippy mind stuff they do in season 2. I mean, kind of all plays around with the theme, especially when it comes to main protagonists. Obviously, try not to get too much into it, because if you have not watched Legion and all don't know anything, it is a mutant TV show. It's like literally dealing with the X-Men. To be fair, it's X-Men I don't know, because once again, asterisk, I don't know comic books, but in particular, like, I typically only know like the A-list kind of when it comes to like X-Men, and I know next to none of these characters. Like one character I'm like, oh yeah, I only know about you because your association to another character, but that's about it. It's kind of like The Gifted in that same sense, which is another show that's kind of like in a parallel sense of like, oh yeah, here's another X-Men show that you should watch because it's really good and because it's coming back for season 2. But nevertheless, that's kind of a thing on its own, but it's kind of like that where it's like, yeah, I don't really know any of these characters, which is fine. I think it adds an element because it's like, oh, I don't know. I'm slowly learning more and more about these characters. There's like one character in the show I kind of got spoiled for about like well in advance, even before the show was officially like, before an official trailer had even dropped for the show, I'd already gotten spoiled on a certain thing. Obviously won't get too much into it. It wasn't no one's fault in particular. It's just one of those things you just can't help but stumble across. Well, other than that one character in this thing about them, him or her, them, God, I'm trying not to spoil things. It's the fact is that, like I said, I know nothing about the rest of the cast, which makes it that much more interesting. But I'm sure it's one of those things like, oh my God, it's this character, it's this character, this character, if you know comic books. But nevertheless, it is something I am very excited for, to see what they do with this season. Like hands down, really quickly, probably like one of the like characters that took me by surprise of how much I like their character is Aubrey Plaza's character, Lenny. Yeah, it's Lenny. Because that character took me by surprise on so many levels, and I was just like, whoa, I thought this was this, but then it's like, what? I mean, to be fair, that kind of fits like the whole like aspect of the show and everything, but nevertheless, that's going to be awesome. So obviously these are just little tidbits of nerdy kind of news type of things that recently came out that I kind of wanted to discuss in the video and just kind of drop that information on you if you were unaware. So obviously if you're fans of the show, you know the whole like Marvel TV show situation, Luke Cage in particular. Let me know what you're thinking about. Are you excited for season 2 and whatnot? Obviously, by the time this comes out, is well after the fact is, like I said, because at the time we were recording this, Jessica Jones literally dropped earlier this morning, like 3 a.m. on the East Coast. You know, tell me your thoughts about that as well, but also like focusing on, you know, Legion 2, like what are you excited for season 2? What do you want to see in season 2? Stuff like that. Obviously, you know, try, if you're very well versed in comic books, try not to spoil anything. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. Till the next time we meet, yeah, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good